Hill, what up? Hop out the truck like bird, what up? I don't even know. I ain't like I can hear y'all. I don't need these on. What am I doing? Because I can't hear y'all. What up? What up? What up? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Young JLD, what up? Mm-hmm. It's incredible how these these Jordan takes, these Jordan LeBron takes, they go through the roof, man. I'm so surprised when I see them. I'm like, damn. What's up, Drew? How you doing, brother? That's gonna be a good one, man. Cowboys and the Giants gonna be a real good one, no doubt. True, what's up, brother? Brian, what's up? I saw the highlights of the Texas. I'm not really a college football fan because I think that the system is whack, yo. I'm not a big college football fan. I don't like the way they handle the playoff system, how biased that is. You know, the best team. You always hear people talk about, you know, the best. They think the best. I live in the South, and they don't think football is played nowhere else but in the SEC. So I don't really bother too much with college football. I'll stick my head in there once in a while for the entertainment value, but I'm not that serious in it. I college football to me is more like a chick that I'm kind of I'll say what's up to every time I see her, but you know I ain't putting no hands on her, nothing like that. I'm not getting emotionally involved in that. So Isaiah, what do you mean Derrick Rose or LeBron? What are you talking about? I don't understand what you mean when you say that. Derrick Rose or LeBron? What do you mean? Mm-hmm. You think the Kings and the Cavs are going to make the? You know what? I got the Cavs as one of my dark horses. I do have the Cavs as one of my dark horses. I love what they did in the front court, man. I do. I absolutely love what they did in the front court. Absolutely. Derrick Rose is not underrated, Isaiah. No, he is not. But I love what the Cavs did in that front court, man. I think Mobley gonna be a star. He might not be a star right away, but I think he's gonna be a star. I think that he could very well be in the at the end of the season. He could be in the rookie of the year talks. Um, the Kings, I think, are going to be better. I think the problem that we have in Sacramento, I think it's Luke Walton. I do. I do think that. Absolutely, I do think that. I would not be surprised if Sacramento was right at the door to play in tournament. I'm not a big fan of the play in tournament, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were. So, hey Isaiah, did you see? Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question, Isaiah. Let me talk to Isaiah for a second because Isaiah, I get a lot of these talks about prime Derrick Rose. Let me ask you a question, Isaiah. The year that Derrick Rose won the league MVP, which was the 10-11 season, right? He went 25-7. Oh, he's a troll, Brian. Is he really? I didn't know that. Okay, so forget it. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's what I didn't realize that. So all right, we'll shut that down. No problem. But I think the problem in Sacramento is with the Bull. I think the problem in Sacramento is with Coach Walton. I think he might be the problem because they got really good talent up there, and he missed on Bagley too. That really That really hurt them. Who in today's game will destroy Patrick Ewing? I don't think any of the big men. I think Pat would struggle on the perimeter. So him having to deal with Embiid on the perimeter, I think he would struggle dealing with guys like Embiid on the perimeter. I think he would struggle dealing with Joker on the perimeter. I think that he could guard out there, but I think that he would have. It's not like Embiid is blowing his doors off, right? I don't think Joker is blowing his doors off. I think he'd have trouble with guys like Anthony Davis. I think he'd have trouble with guys like Giannis. Yeah, no doubt in my mind. I don't think anybody would eat Pat lunch, man. Because Ewing had a mid-range game too. Like Ewing could knock down the 15 to 17 footer, so he could play out there. He might not have been that nice with the peel, but Ewing could play out there, and Ewing was an elite defender. So I don't really see if there's anybody that would eat his lunch. I doubt that. Mm-mm. I doubt that very seriously. Oh, like who would Ewing serve? Oh, that's what you're telling me. Who would Ewing serve? I think he would give Rudy Gobert the business because Pat could step out 15 to 18 feet away from the basket and he could knock down the 15 to 18 footer. He couldn't put the ball on the floor. And I think Ewing was such a force down low. I think that Rudy Gobert would have a lot because especially considering Ewing was primarily a box player. I think that Rudy Gobert would definitely have a problem with him on the box because Ewing was real physical and he had a lot of moves down there too. He had the running hook, he had the jump hook, he could step out. So I definitely think that Rudy would struggle with Ewing. I don't know if Cat would struggle with Ewing. Cat kind of got that soft tape. He kind of has that soft tag, which I don't like because I don't think he's soft. But Ewing was a bruiser, so man, I am Jillian. I am. I'm really excited. A week from Tuesday, we open up. Or is it Thursday? The 19th. True, you can't be soft averaging double figure rebounds and points, man. You can't be. Retro, I just think that situation is so toxic, yo. I just do. I think that situation is. You got 30,000 fans in Philadelphia screaming "F Ben Simmons." I mean, how could he come back to that? Nobody said you was trolling, true. I said, didn't you say you was like 10, something like that? I think he's soft. I think the tag of soft has to be that because of the way the game is played. What's up, Ice? How you running, brother? Sean, do you understand? And I'm going to address this really quickly, and I'm not gonna go into to detail about this. Just so you know, Sean, when you're playing against less teams, that means that the better competition you have to see them more. So if you can imagine, instead of Shaq having to see Olajuwon when he was in Orlando, instead of him only having to see Olajuwon one time until the All Star break, he has to see Olajuwon 8 times before Christmas. Imagine having to deal with that. Imagine Jordan, instead of having to see Drexler only twice a year, he got to see Drex 10 times before the All Star break. Like, how much more difficult would it be? I don't think James is washed. No, I do not. I don't think James is washed. I do think that James is still an elite player. I think that his days of being the best player in the game, I think that at that level, I think he's got one more year, which would be this year. After this year, I think that's over. He had a squad of Hall of Famers, and he still managed to do work. It wasn't like he had a squad of Hall of Famers that carried him. He still did work, and you completely leaving out the fact, Sean, that he coached the team. I remember I remember Gilbert Arenas giving Kobe 60. I do remember that, and I remember Kobe not being happy about that neither. He told him to hold his 60. I do remember that. He was with the Wizards. Mm-hmm. I do think him being the best player in the game. I mean, even though, I mean, last season, was it last season? Not last season. The year before last, 2 seasons ago, when he should have been league MVP before COVID shut the season down. He was on his way to being league MVP. He still was playing at that level where he is the best player in the game. And then I gave him 2 years, and this year is the second year of him being at that elite level. I don't think that he plays at that level, especially being on the unit that he's on now with all of those guys being able to do what they do. He doesn't have to do that much now. Mm-hmm. Why do you think that, Retro? You think that Steph Curry would be jacking up 8 threes a game if he played with Malone? You think Steph Curry would be jacking up 6 threes a game if he played with Ewing? Or if he played with Olajuwon? Or he played with somebody like Rick Smits? You think he'd be shooting the ball like that? You think so? Ben Simmons is not whack, and anybody that thinks that, they crazy. It did get tricky with that, that Bradley Beal being in the top 20. When I equate the Kansas City Chiefs to the Warriors, I feel like a lot of Curry Mahomes comparison. Mm-hmm. With a great supporting cast, and that offense is just basically lightning, because that's all they do is they just go up and down. I can't. Why can't you believe that I said that James is more clutch than Jordan? Because he is. From what I've seen from James and what I've seen from Jordan, I don't just go off the eye test, and I don't just go off of stats. I go off of everything that I saw, and I know that James, after the 17-18 season, which was when I had come to the conclusion that he was the best basketball player that I'd ever seen. I just need you to understand the type of dude that we talking about here. He averaged 34 games in game 7. Which game in the play? Because I know you like to talk a lot about playoffs. I do know that for a fact. You like to talk a lot about playoffs. I'm not that big on playoffs, but I do like to talk about the playoffs. In games, what game is bigger in the playoffs than game 7? See that right there? All finals. That's all you're going with. What about the rest of the playoffs, man? Everything that you bring me, when you bring me stats, all of the stats that you bring me are from the finals. What about the rest of the playoffs? What about the regular season? What about that stuff? That stuff matters, man. We can't just go off the finals. We can't just go for the final exam. What did you do to get up to the final exam? We can't just go off of that. That's so not fair, man. I am big on the playoffs, but I'm also big on I'm big on the totality of it. You can't just be average in the regular season and then all of a sudden you lighten it up in the playoffs. No, that doesn't work with me. No, that doesn't work with me. That does not work with me, my man. You can't get C's. That's why I kind of look cockeyed at Eli Manning. As much as I love Eli Manning is the kid who he got C's and B minuses in school, and then he scored a 16. He scored a 1450 on his SATs. That's who Eli Manning is. You see this dude in the bowl game, and he lighting it up. But you catch him in the regular season, you get a B minus, a C plus. You get stuff like that. Your game in its totality is the most important thing to me. If you just lighten it up in the playoffs, I mean, that says a lot about, if you just lighten it up in the playoffs, that says a lot to me about your motivation. It doesn't just matter in the playoffs. It matters completely. It does matter in the playoffs. I'm not going to fight that. There's no way I will fight that. It doesn't, but I don't just look at the playoffs. What is James's best performance, in my opinion? Is that is that what you mean? Let me make sure I read that right. His clutches game is 2012. I don't think that's his clutches game. No, I don't. He's had so many. How about Game 7 in the Boston Garden against the Celtics in 2018, where he went 45, 7, and 9 with that unit? What about Game 5 in Detroit? What about Game 7 in the Boston Garden? I mean, this dude, when you talk about clutch moments, how about him going in the huddle and telling Coach Blatt, who's running the play for Kyrie, no, you're not running the play for Kyrie. Give me the damn ball. Game's over right here. Give me the ball. This is where I'm going to be. Game's over. No, I don't think so. And that game 6 in the Boston Garden was huge. That wasn't a big game. That was huge. That was absolutely huge. That was absolutely huge. They wouldn't have. Well, not only would they have killed him, they got to blow that unit up if they lose. I said that. I've said that to you in the past. If they lose that game, Game 6 in the Boston Garden, where he goes 45 and 15, Chamberlain the only other guy to do that. Not in a playoff game, on the road. Chamberlain's the only other guy to do that. And if they lose that game, not only are they out, they probably blow that unit up. That Miami Heat team, we don't see that same team next season. So yeah, Game 7 in Golden State, man. That's epic. That's absolutely epic. But I'm thinking about, we just talked about, like I just talked about in 2012. Well, in 2007, he wasn't even picked to go to the finals that year. Detroit, that was their 5th trip to the East Finals. 5th straight trip. And he goes into Detroit and puts 29 on them in the 4th quarter in overtime, and then goes home in Game 6 and bounces them. Oh, that's huge, man. That is huge. Game 7, I think he went 37, 11, and no, he went 32. He went 32 in Game 7. He went 37, 11, and 7 in Game 6. And not to mention, you talk about Game 7 is underrated. He did, because a lot of people talk about how he's not clutch. I mean, he did hit that elbow jump shot to ice the game. Game's over. He hits that jump shot. Game's over. Have a safe trip home, San Antonio. It was good to see you. You guys take it light. Line up the parade for Biscayne Boulevard. Absolutely. Reminding you of what, True? Was it Game 7 or Game 6 that he had that 37? I think it was Game 7. I think he went 37, 11, and 7. Game 7. Yeah, he went 30. I think he went 37, 11, and 6. By the way, that 37, 11, and that was against Leonard. So Kyrie is weird. He's a weird dude, man. He's a really weird dude. What can I say about Kyrie? He's a really weird dude. I do like Jordan Poole. I like what I see from him. I think he's going to help the Warriors out a lot. Thanks, Hoops. I love a good debate, man. I don't what I can't appreciate, Hoops. I can't appreciate people. I just can't appreciate people talking and they don't know what they're talking about. That burns me. Mm-mm. I don't think Irv would quit. I do not. I don't think he got the stones to do it. Mm-mm. I know you're a Jason Tatum fan. Is there someone he reminds you of? He reminds me of Tracy McGrady. That's who Jason Tatum reminds me of. He reminds me of when I watch him play. He looked like Tracy McGrady. He's not as athletic as Tracy McGrady, but that's who he reminds me of when I watch him. No, I do not. But sounds like you do, Mark. Sounds like you absolutely think that he's going to be a top 5 player all time. I didn't see your question. Kyrie being problematic. Well, they tried to make that deal work, Jonas, and from what I understand, Sean Marks actually called up Philly and they were on the phone and they were trying to make this deal work. And Kevin Durant was the one who was like, nah, don't do that. Do not do that. Do not do that. And I just think that with him being, we all have our beliefs in how we feel about things. All right, I can absolutely get with that. But like in a marriage, when you get involved in a team, you trade the I's for we's. And the Brooklyn Nets are in a position where they have an opportunity to do something special, man. And we're gonna have enough problems as it is, and to have to deal with like stuff like this. I don't know if Irv is worth it. I just don't. Hmm. KD is on Larry Bird's level right now. No, he isn't. I don't think so. No, I don't, Raps. I don't think that they have enough to get to the finals with that current roster that they have. No, I don't. I think that they're going to make some noise though, depending on how Clay comes back and how healthy he is. I think that they're going to make some real noise. Absolutely, but I don't think that they have enough to get to the finals. No, I don't. OG, my favorite words you said was so that means that at minimum the best defenders was the two guard. I'm just going off of what I saw, and the proof was in the pudding. That wasn't something that I made up. I mean, that was fact. Well, Dylon, do you think that when you look at that Suns team, I mean, they were in the NBA Finals last year. They basically ran it back. They didn't do anything different. They running it back. So would they not be a contender coming back this season, or was it a fluke? This is a cranberry juice and water. That's it. Some cranberry juice and some water. I just, man, I'm really glad that Lonzo was able to get out of New Orleans, and I think that Zion is next because I absolutely think that they're going to screw him up. Now they did do something smart with Van Gundy. They recognized that they made a bad decision in hiring him and got rid of him. All right, I can definitely get with that. That's something that Griffin recognized, but now with the current hire that they have and the current group that they have, I would like to see some stability in New Orleans, and it just doesn't seem like it is. It just doesn't seem like they know exactly what it is they're doing. Griffin is he's a seasoned vet when it comes to being a general manager. Is it vegan? I don't know. Cranberry juice, 100% juice, cranberry juice, and water. I don't know. The most athletic Bron was in the 12-13 season. That was the most athletic Bron that I'd seen. I'll tell you what, Raps, if they could stay healthy, if Russell could stay healthy, if Anthony Edwards could stay healthy, if Cat could stay healthy, I do think that they can make some noise in the West because they got that three is really good talent, and Russell's been to the playoffs numerous times. So I think they can make some noise. Absolutely, they could. How many did he have last night? So you see, because I think I think I stopped counting after 4. I am going to watch the fight tonight, even though I'm not thrilled about it, Jillian, because I look at Fury. He's a better boxer than Wilder. His footwork, his technique, his defense. He's a better boxer. Wilder is a puncher. He's going to go in there. He's going to crack your nose. Tyson Fury, he's nice with his hands, his positioning. He knows when to attack. He knows how to attack. And he can take punches. I don't know if Kawhi is. The disrespect to Cade. What do you mean, Cade, and the disrespect to Cade? He played 1 season of college basketball. Why should we be so high on this guy? 1 season? He was just in high school 2 years ago. Why you talking to us like this dude been 10 years nice and we ain't paying attention? Who is he? What has he done? We don't know who this dude is. What do you mean the disrespect to him? What does that mean? You got to take care of the basketball, man. Especially playing with this group. You have to take care of the basketball. Why are you going so far up to 08? Take a look at him in 05. Take a look at James. I wouldn't even go back. I wouldn't even go that far to 08. I'm looking at James in 05. He looked like he should be in school. But in terms of his face, but his game is like there's no reason for him to be in school. Kobe is a better mid-range scorer, finisher, and post. Than who? Do you think Okoro? I'm a huge Okoro fan. Made the all-rookie team last year, and I wasn't really that high on bringing Markin in because I like what Okoro is doing. And I think that we could build with him. I really wasn't that big on bringing in Okoro. I mean, bringing in Markin. James Harden shot well, that's like asking who's a better scorer, James Harden or Michael Jordan. James Harden shoot the long ball better. James Harden gets to the stripe. Bryant gets to the stripe. Bryant a better post player. I think Bryant got a better mid-range game than James Harden. I think he a better finisher than Harden. Markin, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen. That's who it's probably going to. Well, it's not going to be. It's if you're looking to start Kevin Love, you're looking to start Kevin Love so you can possibly move him. So you get some people that see him play and he might have something left, and there might be a contender or a team that's on the playoff threshold that might see him and be like and think that, maybe we can make the playoffs. This dude look like he's still got something left. And they might be willing to give up some picks for him, maybe even a 1. But I don't know if I'm starting him, though. I don't know about that. Yeah, Giannis just got nice around the NBA. Over the last 4 years, Giannis just got nice. It ain't like Giannis been doing this for 7, 8 years. He just got nice. Do you remember what was it, 3 years ago? Was it 3 years ago when they went up 2-0 on Toronto and then lost the next 4? How everybody was looking at Giannis? How everybody was talking about Giannis? How he was, even though I thought that he was awesome. Even though I already thought that he was awesome, right? But I still needed to see him improve, and he did improve. He improved his mid-range. He improved his ball handling. He improved all of those things. He did get better. What's up, Sean? Nice to meet you, brother. I'm Jermaine. The youngsters, they call me OG. My friends call me J-Dub. What's happening, brother? Zach LaVine or Jimmy Butler? I think Zach is a better scorer. I think he's a better athlete. I think he's got a better mid-range than Jimmy Butler. I think he's a better finisher than Jimmy Butler. I think Jimmy is better on the defensive side of the basketball. That makes Jimmy buckets more of a complete player. And you guys know how I am about complete basketball players. Let me see if I read that right. He's been doing nice for 4 years. That's not recent. Actually, it is recent. You know it's not recent? 8 years. A decade. That's not recent. 4 years? That doesn't give us much. Just 3 years ago, the Toronto Raptors won the NBA championship. You could care less about them, can you? You couldn't care less about them. I'm not fighting his accolades. Defensive Player of the Year, won the league MVP twice. That's called a run, what he's doing right now. Can he sustain that? Can he continue to do that? Of course you care about the Raptors, Matt, because you're probably from Toronto. My definition of a bust is somebody that's completely and utterly ineffective. They didn't do anything. They didn't bring anything. Anthony Bennett was a bust. He didn't give us nothing. Absolutely, positively nothing. That's a bust. Chris Washburn, that's a bust. You didn't just get an ad. You lying. You did not. No, Kwame Brown is not a bust. And the reason why Kwame Brown is not a bust, Kwame Brown played 15 years in the league. 15. When you stick around that long, you're doing something right. The problem with Greg Oden is Greg Oden was made of glass. It wasn't his game because when he played, he was good. He was just made of glass. Andrew Wiggins is not a bust. Just so you know, for Andrew Wiggins' career, I think he averages almost 20 a game. So he's not a bust. He's going into year 8. Andrew Wiggins has underperformed. There's a difference between underperforming and being a complete bust. And Andrew Wiggins he's not a bust more than he just underperformed. Well, I don't think Blake Griffin's career was ruined by injury. I mean, we talking about a dude. What are we in? Year 13 for him? I mean, he did make the All NBA team 5 times. It wasn't like, he didn't do anything. No, I don't think D'Angelo Russell is a bust. I mean, he did make the All-Star team one time. Yes, he did. And he was on a team that made the playoffs primarily because of him. And on top of that, he's still in the league doing work. What do I think about what from this? Did I miss something? Klay Thompson or Ray Allen? Oh, Ray Allen over Klay Thompson. LeBron's best teammate, Anthony Davis. I thought Pirtle was going to be better with the Spurs, considering his role up in Toronto was minimized because they had Valanciunas and then they had Gasol, so he wasn't able to blossom the way he could have. As a secondary player, he was that up in Toronto, and when he came to San Antonio, I just thought he'd be a lot better, and he hasn't. You can make the case for D Wade. You can absolutely make the case for D Wade. I'm going with Anthony Davis because Anthony Davis, when he's healthy, I think he's a top 5 player. I think Dwayne Wade's a top 5 player too. But I think Anthony Davis, his impact was bigger when he was healthy. I mean, we're talking about a dude, I think it was in the 17-18 season. He finished 3rd. Not only did he finish 3rd in league MVP votes, he finished 2nd in the defensive player of the year. So he would have, in the 19-20 season, before COVID shut the season down, he was leading the Lakers in points, rebounds, and blocks. And they were the number 1 team in the Western Conference. So did I miss something? Who has a worse offense? He is a worse Rudy Gobert. Who are you talking about? AD is absolutely top 5 when he's healthy. No question in my mind. No doubt about it. It's interesting you talk about that, True, because like a lot of people, not just in here, but a lot of people see Charles on Inside the NBA with Shaq and Kenny Smith, and they see, that he's the comic relief, and they completely forget that, well, not even forget, because maybe they don't know, but Charles wasn't a good player in the NBA. He was a top 5 player in the NBA. for a long time. Charles wasn't good. Charles was incredible. So no, I do not think Bernard King was better than Dominique Wilkins. No, I do not, sir. Finesse, you asking me about the Bulls? Are you a Bucks fan? Because today, if the Bulls, not today, but at the end of the season, if the Bulls were to meet Milwaukee in the playoffs, I think Milwaukee serves them. I don't think they beat them. I think Milwaukee serves them. The same reason why they served Phoenix. Chicago has no answer for Giannis. None whatsoever. Scottie Pippen or Dwayne Wade all time? Wow. Scottie Pippen. I think Dwayne was a better I think he was a better scorer than Scottie. But I think Scottie was a better all-around player than Dwayne Wade. I think that's the Bulls Bucks. I think that's a bad matchup for the Bucks. Bulls. I think that's a bad matchup for the Bulls because they don't have anybody to deal with Giannis. And I think Jrue Holiday and Middleton, I think they handle Zach and DeMar DeRozan. I think they handle them. Defensively, I think they handle them. Kabu Killing? Tatum MVP race this year? Not yet. Mm-mm. Not yet, my man. Mm-mm. We getting close, though. We are getting close. We are absolutely getting close with Tatum. No, not yet. But we're getting close. I don't think that James was really comfortable in the role. He still was having a difficult time with how that whole thing transpired with him leaving Cleveland and going to Miami. I said it before, and I stand by this. I don't think he ever wanted to leave Cleveland. That's why he went back there. I don't think he ever wanted to leave in the first place. Excuse me. I don't think he ever wanted to leave there in the first place. Because there's no reason why he leaves Miami in the position that they were in to go back to Cleveland to do what I promised. No, it wasn't that. He never wanted to leave there in the first place. The ugliest jump shot in NBA history. Jamal Wilkes had a funny looking J. It was like back here, and the ball was, but it was cash though. He didn't miss a lot. He did not miss a lot. Mm-mm. Who do I think is the most overrated player of all time? I'm not a big Wes Unseld guy. I don't know if he's overrated, but I'm just not a big Wes Unseld guy. Like when I hear people talk about him, I'm kind of like you are when people talk about, I don't know, like Joakim Noah or somebody like that. You know, that's how I am when people talk about Wes Unseld. Uh, I'm not overly impressed. How do you explain the Fuzar? How do you explain LeBron's 8-point finals game? The same way I explained Larry Bird's 8-point finals game. He was on a new crew, and the cohesion wasn't there yet. So he hadn't had it figured out yet. And did James score 8 points in the finals game? Did he? Which game was that? Did he score 8? I don't remember him scoring 8. Remind me. I wouldn't be surprised. And that was something that hampered that was something that hampered Boston last year. Losing Jaylen Brown, that was big for them because now you lose I personally think Jaylen Brown. That's why I wasn't objective to them trading Marcus Smart, strictly for that reason, because I thought that they could have got a third scorer. Which, by the way, Dennis Schroeder is going to be big for Boston this season. I absolutely think he's going to be huge for them. Was it game 5? He had 8 points. Okay. Fusal, what do you think of LeBron James? Since you asking me about the 8 points that he had in that game, because I think we're going somewhere with this. There's something else that you want to say. What do you think of LeBron James? I'm listening to you. What do you think of him? He dropped 30. All right. I can get with that. He didn't just get outscored. He got outplayed in that series. No doubt. He got outplayed. See, right there, Fuzar, when I can appreciate competitive banter. When I hear stuff like it's not close, it's the mentality for me. So Jordan had this killer mentality. Just so you know, James has it too. James has that same mentality. You don't think that James has a killer mentality to be down 3-1? Why couldn't he just wash his hands with that series and go, I'm out? You don't think James, I'm not going to say you don't think. James, absolutely, you have to have a killer mentality to be 22 years old and to go into Detroit, which is the Lions' den, and beat that team with the team you came with. You have to have a killer mentality to go into Boston in your fifth season and put 43, I'm sorry, was it 45 on Paul Pierce with that crew that you had? I'm a kid. To go into the Boston Garden in game 6 of an elimination game and make it clear, we not going home tonight. We not going home tonight. I can't tell you what's going to happen in game 7, but I can tell you right now, we ain't going home tonight. I bet you that. You have to have a killer mentality to perform that way. I get fed up when I hear that mentality thing, like Jordan was the only killer. Because no, he wasn't. Mark, I'm not listening to that, Mark. Let me tell you why I'm not listening to that. I'm not listening to that for one reason and one reason only. You had 3 games to win 1, and 2 of those 3 games were on your home floor. You're not selling me that. You are not selling me that. Clay and Steph Curry, 12 for 35 in game 7. They got out rebounded. It was you're not selling me that. No way. You're not selling me that. I think that's the reason why KD left there. I don't think that, even though I think that he was a sucker for going to Golden State, I think he was overplaying with Russ. I think he realized, I'm not going to win with this guy. I'm not. No matter what I do, no matter how hard I try, I'm not going to win with this guy. I'm not. You saying Jordan not deserve Defensive Player of the Year? No, you're saying that. I'm not listening to that neither, Hoop, because when we get to this part of the season, everybody's banged up. You saw what happened to Anthony Davis in the 20 finals. He was dragging. He was dragging himself, and he still was able to get it done. I'm not listening to that. No, I'm not listening to that neither. When you come on the floor, what you're telling me is you are correct. You're ready to go. So if Iggy comes out here, Iggy's ready to go. If Steph Curry comes out here, Steph is ready to go. I'm not listening to that nonsense about you being hurt. No, I'm not hearing that. I don't do start bench cuts, my man. I only did that one time. I don't really bother too much with start bench cut. Which year, Trinidad? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think Dirk is better than Charles Barkley. No, I do not. Mm-mm. You know, it's interesting, and I had this conversation with with my man Fluent, my man Tony from Be Fluent, and have we seen anybody like Dirk? You know, Tony Kukoc is kind of similar. You know, you got the big man that stands out on a perimeter and he can shoot the long ball. He can do things like that. Is it fair to say that we've seen players like Dirk since Dirk not just left the league but came in the league also? Have we seen players like Dirk? I mean, Chris Bosh would be, you know, a jump shooting big, right? We've seen players like Dirk, but have we have I don't think we've kind of Joker, right? I haven't seen anybody like Charles. I haven't seen anybody like him. I haven't seen anybody like Charles. Nobody. KD, okay, that's a good one also. Very similar to Dirk, similar size. Uh KD nicer with the pill than him. I think KD is a better overall offensive player than Dirk, but uh somebody like that. I haven't seen anybody like Charles. Nah, Zion. He ain't the glass cleaner that Charles led the league in rebounding. Charles was in the top three in the league in rebounding regularly. He ain't the glass cleaner that Charles was. He ain't the transition player with the basketball that Charles was. Nah. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Roasting PJ Tucker. Would you like to see that more? Would you like to see the announcers talk more about a guy who sucks? Well, Malone wasn't the rim protector. That was Greg Ostertag. That was Felton Spencer. That was Mark Eaton. That wasn't Malone's job. Malone was an elite one-on-one defender, though. I will tell you that. Charles was not much bigger than Dwayne Wade. He was not. It wasn't like he towered over Dwayne Wade. It was like this. You know, Charles stood about 6'5", 6'6". So uh, I think Tyson Fury wins tonight. I've heard some of Dame's music. Dame is nice. Dame Karam, yo. He is nice. I've heard a lot of his stuff. Dame is nice. He's absolute. He can. Dame can absolutely rhyme. He is not a gimmick. No, Dame can rhyme. Joshua, we had some technical difficulties. I think we'll be good Tuesday night though. Come check us out if you want. I think we'll be I think we'll be good Tuesday night though. Mm-hmm. I don't think Love wants even. I don't think Love wants to be in Cleveland anymore. To be honest with you, I don't. I just can't appreciate this whole KD's the greatest scorer of all time. What evidence do you have to prove that? That was a dope diss track too. When Dame dissed Shaq. What did he say? In Cleveland, they need Diesel ass, and that ring that you got, that was on the strength of Flash. Ooh. I don't know about that, yo. Hey, so you see, this could sink them. So they looking at him. I already saw him, his hands wrapped up. So he's going to be out for a month, maybe 2. This could sink them. They can go right to the bottom of the NFC West. This could absolutely. This is a prime example of you are only as good as your backup quarterback. So we're about to find out how good Geno Smith is. We are about to find out. Absolutely. Well, the reason why he doesn't want to buy out Brian is because at this stage of his career, he's not interested in eating none of that money because he ain't going to see that money again. I think he's 32, 33. I mean, how much longer how many more years you think he got in the league? I would say 2 at this level. I would say 2. He's barely playing in Cleveland. Best era for each position. That's a good one. I got to think about that, Hoops. Of course, Julian. Of course. The first year you take him on your fantasy, and you think you lucked up to, you got Russ. First month of the season, he out for the rest of the season. Give me a break. He's the only one left. Him and the Euro. Is Dylan Nadova still on that crew? Yeah, I think Matt's still on that crew. From that 18 squad that went to the finals, I think them 2 are the only ones left. Well, first of all, Diana Taurasi is the real deal. And she don't look like, I mean, she's not as good as she was 5 years ago, but she obviously still got something left. I mean, Candace Parker, I mean, I think this is a lot of this comes from her. She's from Chicago, and that's a good Chicago team she on too. That's a real good Chicago team she on. So I wouldn't be surprised if they won a WNBA championship. That wouldn't surprise me one bit. No, it wouldn't. So to answer your question, so the point guards of the 80s, point guards in the 70s were really good too. So you got the point guards in the 70s. You had Nate Archibald, Walt Frazier, Earl Pearl, Oscar Rob. But Oscar was washed in the 70s though. Oscar best years was in the 60s. Gus Johnson. And then you got the point guards in the 80s. You had Magic, you had Stockton, you had Isaiah, you had Fat Lever, you had Derek Harper. Mark Jackson, Ross Strickland, Tim Hardaway. But Tim Hardaway is more of a 90s guy. He came in 88. Dennis Johnson, Kevin Johnson. And then you got the point guards of the 90s. That would be Ross Strickland, Tim Hardaway, Penny Hardaway, Jason Kidd. Stockton, Mark Price. Mark Price came in 85, though, 86. So he would be an 80s point guard. Mark Jackson. The better point guards. Tim Hardaway, like I said. Then you got the 2000s where you had Marbury, Steve Francis, Tony Parker, Chauncey Billups, Steve Nash. Steve Nash was a 90s guy, though. He came in 96. But he ain't become that dude to the 2000s. So Steve Nash in the 2000s. Steve Nash. Steve Francis, Jason Kidd, Chauncey Billups, Tony Parker, Darren Williams, Chris Paul. Gilbert Arenas. Gary Payton was in the 90s. Yeah. Those 90s point guards might be the best, man. Those 90s or those 2000 point guards might be the best. Yeah. Tens is tough too, man. With Curry and Westbrook and Chris Paul and yeah, Dame, Irv. Yeah. What is James Harden? James Harden is listed as a two guard. So, the point guard is it's real tricky now. Something completely different. No, Raps, that was a big time shot by Garherd. That was a big time shot by him. Garherd was a solid pro. He was. That was his claim to fame, hitting that buzzer beater in the finals. I still think that what's this Caruso thing about, yo? Can we get to the bottom of something? I need you to school me. Are you trolling? Because I need you to school me on Alex Caruso. Because I see Alex Caruso. He's a rotation guy. Or is he a folk hero? That I don't is it something that I don't know that I need to know? Like Brian Scalabrine? Is that what we talking about with this dude? That's what I figured. Yeah, that's what I figured. No, I did not know that. Thank you for that information. Cameron, what's up, brother? That's what I figured. Yeah. He's a solid rotation player. Alex Caruso gonna play 12 to 15 years in the NBA. No question about it. He gonna have a spot. There's always a spot on somebody's roster for a guy like him. No doubt. Um, he is gonna play that long. You going in he been in the league what 4 years now? How many years Caruso been in the league? You're gonna turn around and in 8 years Caruso gonna still be on somebody's roster. You're gonna be like, damn, Caruso's still in the league. Yep. Yep. He's still in the league. Watch. No, AK-47 was the real deal. Oh, yes, he was. He was absolutely the real deal. Yeah, he was. 6'9", lock ass defender, long, rangy, big time athlete. Yeah. AK-47 was the real deal. Yes, he was. Could shoot the long ball. And he wasn't no chump neither. So do not try to rough him up because he was not trying to hear it. Nope. Go take that somewhere else. He wasn't getting that off with him. Who is the Tyreek Hill of basketball? Russell Westbrook. Yes, Jillian, they have to do that. at some point. They're gonna have to, especially him being uh in film the way he is, and he's gonna be able to dictate the narrative. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes, sir. So I'm gonna start because now basketball season is coming back around. So my the daily takes that I used to do in the morning, I'm gonna start that back up again because basketball season is back in effect, and I'll be able to talk more about what's going on around the league, and I'll be able to give I'll be able to give more of my insight in addition to being able to talk to you guys like I do now. So when I give my insight, when you catch it, whatever it is that you think, we could come on here and we could talk about it in addition to what we already talk about now. So I'll bring them back. Absolutely. I hadn't done it because basketball season's over, so there really wasn't much to talk about in the summer. And I'm thinking, you guys don't want to hear about summer league ball. I had done it in the summer when the Olympics was going on, but after the Olympics was over, I was thinking that you guys didn't want to hear anything about summer league ball and anything like that. So I was like, I'll wait for the season to start and I'll get back into that and start giving more of my insight, and we'll get back to that. No, I don't play 2K. I'm not familiar at all, sir. There is no modern day Clyde Drexler. Maybe Zach Levine. He might. You may be able to make a case for Zach Levine being that, but that's the only guy that comes to mind. Hey, Vintage, I got a hot take. I won't say hot take because that sounds nuts when I hear that. But am I ridiculous? Who is it? Vintage CT77. Am I ridiculous if I say Rams and the Chargers in the bowl game? I just want to know. You tell me. Am I ridiculous if I say that? I do listen to Drake Benjamin. He's one of my favorite rappers of he's one of my favorite rappers of all time. I dig Drake. He's super dope. Oh, Justin Herbert. I've said this to you before, Jillian. Whenever I see him, he looks to me like a more athletic version of Dan Marino. No love for the Arizona Cardinals. No, I ain't say that. No, no, no. I'm not biased toward Arizona. They got a damn good team. I said before the season started that don't be surprised if Kyler Murray is leading the league in touchdowns. I said that before the season started. The best New York rapper of all times, in my opinion, Biggie. I never heard nobody like him. Dallas got to get out. Dallas got to get out the divisional round before you guys could talk to me about the Cowboys. I'm not listening to nothing. I'm not listening to nothing with the Cowboys. Did you just say Yao and T Mac or Shaq and Kobe? Is that what you just said? Really? Yao and T Mac couldn't get out of the first round of the playoffs. He was on a team. They were on a Yao and T Mac were on a team that had won 21 straight games. That was in the 07-08 season. They got bounced in round one. They didn't lose. They got bounced. Mm-hmm. What did Dallas end up getting for that deal and Josh Richardson going to Boston, which I think is going to be huge for them because now that's another. I think that's another element that they have defensively on the perimeter that they can utilize. What did they end up getting in that deal? Drake or Kanye? Drizzy? I'll take it a step further than that, Vintage. I just want to put something on your mind. You are aware that the Kansas City Chiefs, as of today, they are the second worst team defensively. There's only one other team that gives up more points per game than them. And over the last 10 years, the Raiders, Carolina twice. I got it in my notes somewhere. The Raiders, Carolina twice. All 10 of those teams did not make the playoffs. So if I said to you in week 1, the Chiefs are going to be the worst team in the league defensively, or they're going to be the second worst team in the league defensively, and they ain't making the playoffs, and I got $1,000 on it, what would you have said to me? Jonas, one more time for the people in the cheap seat, Jonas. Trash. Tell us what you really think, Jonas. I don't think that the Broncos are pretenders. I think that they had a really good shot to win that game, but Teddy Bridgewater got hurt, and you saw what happened when because they had held the score was 7-7 at the half. They were right in that game. Top 10 players that I'm keeping an eye out for. Let's see. That's a good one. Dennis Schroeder. I'm interested to see how he bounces back from what he did in Los Angeles. I want to see Bradley Beal because I know what he did the year before he got Russ. And he gets Russ and he does the same thing. I want to see if that's the same. I want to see if that continues. Jalen Suggs. De'Aaron Fox. Devin Booker. And the reason why I say Devin Booker is because I want to see what kind of bounce back year he has after having that taste in the NBA Finals. I want to see what kind of bounce back year he has. The kid up in Toronto, Boucher. Definitely pay attention to him. Lonzo up in Chicago. I already said De'Aaron Fox. I don't think Jason Tatum, we need to keep it look because he ain't. It's not like Jason Tatum ain't on nobody's radar. We know who Jason Tatum is, so that's not a question of that. Yes, Jillian Clay. I'm very interested to see what happens with Clay and how he comes back. I know he's itching to get back. Oh my God, this Caruso again. Here we go. Let's see. And the reason why I'm saying this because I'm thinking about teams that are going to be better, and they're going to be better because of this guy. This is why they're going to be better. I mean, is Oklahoma City going to be better because of Shea? I think Charlotte's going to be better, and that's going to be because of LaMelo. I think that Orlando is going to be better. I still don't think that they're going to be a playoff team, but I think they're going to be better, and I think that Jalen Suggs is going to have a lot to do with that. R.J. Barrett. I'm interested to see what happens with him. Jamal Murray too, yeah. And hoops, my guy, MPJ. I got him as most improved. He's my most improved winner this year, no doubt. I do think that the Bulls are a playoff team. Yes, I do. Since we're on the subject of trash, since we talking about that, since we on that subject, since you bring it up, that's great. I think he is serious about winning. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Like, see, that doesn't even sound correct right there. So you see, like Wilt had a stat line of 78 and 46. And Baylor in the same game, he went 64 and 30 in the same game. Like, does that even sound correct? That don't even sound correct, yo. 78. So almost 80 and 50. That's not fake. True, that's not fake, yo. It's not. Chamberlain was doing that kind of stuff all the time, yo. It's not fake. I knew you was gonna say that. I did. I knew that you were gonna say that. It's not fake. Chamberlain was doing stuff like that all the time. He was absolutely doing that on the regular. It's not Vic. Listen to me. The year that Bill Russell won the league MVP, the year that Bill Russell won the league MVP in '62, Chamberlain went 50 and 26. You are aware that Elgin Baylor almost went 40 and 20. He went 38 and 18. What's the narrative on a guy that's going 38 and 18 today in the NBA? He finished in 4th place that year. Oscar went 30, 10, and 10. That was going on a regular, by the way. Yo. In order for Fred VanVleet to make the All-Star team next year, you got to look at what's going on in the Eastern Conference, just in terms of guard play. Who does he go ahead of? Just as a guard, who does he go ahead of? All right. So let's just take Irv out the mix. Who does he go ahead of? I know. See, that don't even sound correct to you, right? Does it, Vic? Like, you like, seriously, man? No. That's fake. No, it's not fake. That's why it's people that I talk to, whether it's on TikTok or whether it's here, it's people that I talk to that they don't think Wilt Chamberlain was a real person. They think that he's made up. How do you go 70 and 40 in the same game? Another dude goes almost 70 and 20. It just doesn't sound correct. It just doesn't. I think Josh Giddey could be in the rookie game. I think that he could I think that he can make the all rookie team, but is Giddey even a rookie? Hold on for a second, guys. Hang on for 1 second, guys. Yo. One second. You also got to remember, too, that it is the preseason. So with it being the preseason, guys look a little bit different in the preseason than they do in the regular season. So, I mean, this Josh Giddey thing, I mean, it looks real good on the surface, but it's not fake. Mm-hmm. And initially, here's the thing about Chamberlain. Chamberlain is one of those guys like Bo Jackson, where if there was no footage and I just put the numbers in front of you, that exactly would be the response. You'd be like, yo, stop. There's no way that that's going on. No way. It's just the way the camera is, Jillian. That's all it is. I'm really not that tall. It's just the way the camera is. Mm-hmm. Is the All-Star game in Cleveland? Oh boy. I think that James was really worried about that too. I remember him saying something about that. No, I don't think that's a bad take at all. I think that Tyler Hero he definitely is looking to have a bounce back year. So him, MPJ, RJ Barrett, um, guys like that. I can definitely see that happening. No, I think they stick with what they're doing in Utah. I don't think that they that far away, yo. I don't. Or take it a step further than that. True. That's like Curry knocks down. That's like Curry knocks down like 18 threes in a game, right? Curry knocks down 18 threes in a game. And in the process of him knocking down 18 threes in a game, Dame goes for 60 in that same game. You're like, what? That didn't happen? Yeah, that's what that's the equivalent to. Curry knocked down 22 threes, and Dame went for 55 in that game. And he knocked down 11 threes. And unless you see it on tape, you're like, nah. Well, I'm a National League guy, and I can tell you this, Julian. I think that the Red Sox, not the Red Sox. I'm sorry, the Dodgers. This is their third straight year in the World Series, so I think they win it again this year. Like if Dame went 55 and 10, yeah, Bob, I'm a 49er fan. Mm-hmm. Bronze number one. I got Curry. I got Curry in my top 15, and I got Curry in my top 15, and KD. I think I have him right outside my top 20. If I don't have him, I got to go check my top 20 list. But next time I talk to you, True, we're gonna get to the bottom of that. But I'm pretty confident that that happened. I'm not on the fence about it because he did put 65 on Bill Russell. He has 65 points against Bill Russell in a game, and that's not including the 55 boards that he pulled down against Bill Russell as well. So I'm confident that that happened. I got to go check my research, but I'm pretty confident that that happened. I don't have my numbers in front of me, but I am at a TikTok deal. In fact, I may go back and I may go live again tonight. And if I don't go live on TikTok tonight, I'm definitely going live in the morning. Bill Russell was a lockdown defender. He couldn't do nothing. And Chamberlain did that. Chamberlain did that to prove a point. The reason why Chamberlain did that was because Bill Russell broke the rebounding record where he pulled down 51 boards in the game. Chamberlain said, okay, we're going to get to the bottom of that. I'll fix that. Chamberlain pulls down 55, and he does it against Russell. Well, you can make that argument, Victor, for every decade. You know, how good was the competition today? Because ain't nobody really stopping nobody today, are they? I ain't saying that, you know, guys don't play defense, but ain't nobody really stopping nobody. Do I feel cheated out of Super Bowl 54? I thought we had that game won. No question about that. I absolutely thought that we had that game won. Up 2 scores with 6 minutes left. There's no reason why we shouldn't have won that game. None. There's no reason why we shouldn't have won that game. I thought we were going to be Super Bowl champs. No doubt about it. The game that I do feel cheated out of, and Jillian here, her Giants in the 2012 NFC Championship game with that fumble, and it was a fumble too. And you know it was a fumble, say it. My boy should have been in the bowl game that year because that was a fumble. When y'all came up to San Francisco in the NFC Championship game, it was a fumble. We should have been in the NFC Champ. We should have been in the bowl game that year. That's where I got cheated. It was a fumble, Jillian. And that's when I knew the next year when I found out that the Giants were not going to the playoffs. I was like, we're going to the Super Bowl. I knew it. When I found out that the Giants wasn't in the playoffs, I was like, we're going to the bowl game. I knew it. And we ended up in the bowl game. Because I was like, we ain't got to see the Giants. We straight. So we were straight. It was good right there. $65, true. Take it a step further than that. Will averaged 30 and 30 against Russell for his career. For his career, he averaged 30 and 30 against Russell. I do think Ben Simmons fits Denver. The problem that we having is I think that Ben wants to be some, because Ben leaving Philadelphia to go to Denver, it's basically the same situation. But it ain't, because it ain't his team. That's Joker team. So if you took Jamal Murray and moved him to Philadelphia and moved Ben Simmons to Denver, what's the difference? MPJ, that's Tobias Harris. Joker, that's Embiid. Will Barton, Bowl. I mean, I don't think that it's not that much of a different situation, which means he still ain't the man, and I think he wants to be the man. I think Chamberlain was better than Will. I think Chamberlain was better than Bill Russell. No question about it. Kevin McHale is not a better post player than Hakeem Olajuwon. I will not co-sign that. No, I will not. No, sir. Mm-mm. No, I will not co-sign that. Kevin McHale, you was lunch on that box against Kevin McHale, though. I will tell you that. You was lunch on that box against him. Which makes no sense to me, see? Because why wouldn't you give up? Like, Halliburton can't hold up that trade. He can't. No way can Halliburton hold that trade up. Man. Uncle D, I think that if that was a trade possibility, I think that would have happened already. I don't see why not. The Magic, Oklahoma City, somewhere like that, where he could be the man there. Like imagine Shea in Philadelphia. I would love Shea in Philadelphia. What? That would be great for him. Yeah, Pop don't have nothing to give them. Pop has nothing to give Philadelphia. Mm-mm. He didn't want to give Leonard to Toronto. Tristan, I completely disagree with you on Kevin McHale. Kevin McHale was not a better box player, in my opinion, than Hakeem Olajuwon. Mm-mm. No way. No, no way. All right, guys, it's about that time for me to wrap it up. So, what's today? Saturday. I will probably get with you guys again. We'll do it again maybe Monday. No, not Monday night because I'm with Tone on Monday night on TikTok, and then Tuesday we got Tuesday I'm on Twitch with OG the Beast. Tuesday night, Wednesday we'll get together again and do it. So until then, guys, it's always good to talk to you. It's always good to see you. Take it light. Take it.